As I stand here, I want to take you on a journey inward, to a place where your soul is stirring, rising, reaching for something deeper. Let's start with the first sign your soul is rising. A truth that hit me like a quiet thunderbolt when I began to see it in my own life. You're embracing your shadow, that hidden part of you that Carl Jung said holds the key to who you really are. You see, Jung taught us that the shadow isn't just the dark stuff we push away, the anger, the jealousy, the fears we don't want anyone to see. It's the parts of ourselves we've been taught to hide, the pieces we think make us unlovable or unworthy. But when your soul starts to rise, something shifts. You stop running from those parts and start looking at them with curiosity, maybe even compassion. I remember a time when I was so afraid of being seen as not enough that I'd bury any hint of doubt or insecurity. I'd put on a smile, keep it polished, keep it perfect. But deep down, I knew I was hiding from myself. Then one day I caught myself snapping at someone I love over something small. And instead of brushing it off, I paused. I asked, why did that come up? What's really going on here? That moment of honesty was like cracking open a door. I started seeing my impatience, my need for control, not as flaws to hide, but as parts of me that needed understanding. That's what Jung meant by embracing your shadow, seeing those raw, messy bits and saying, you're part of me too. This isn't easy. It's like looking in a mirror and seeing not just the face you show the world, but the one you've kept in the dark. Maybe it's the resentment you've carried since childhood, or the shame you feel about a mistake you made years ago. When your soul is rising, you don't just shove those feelings away anymore. You sit with them. You might journal about them, talk them out with a friend, or just let them be in your heart without judgment. And here's the magic Jung pointed us to. When you accept those shadow parts, they lose their power to control you. They become teachers, not enemies. You start to feel lighter, freer, because you're no longer fighting yourself. Jung called this process individuation, becoming your whole, true self by bringing all parts of you into the light. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. You'll know your soul is rising when you catch yourself owning your flaws without shame, when you can say, I messed up, and that's okay, or I'm scared, but I'm still worthy. It's like finding a piece of your heart you didn't know was missing. For me, it was realizing that my need to always be strong was keeping me from being human. What's it been for you? What part of your shadow are you starting to embrace? This is the first step of your soul's rise, seeing all of you and choosing love over fear. It's the beginning of everything. Now let's talk about the second sign that your soul is rising, something Carl Jung called synchronicity. Those moments when the universe seems to wink at you, delivering coincidences so perfectly timed they feel like magic. You know what I mean? You're thinking about someone you haven't seen in years, and suddenly they call, or you're wrestling with a big life question and out of nowhere, you stumble across a book or a conversation that hands you the exact wisdom you need. These aren't just happy accidents. Jung believed they're signs your soul is waking up, aligning with something deeper, something universal. When your soul is rising, you start noticing these synchronicities everywhere. And let me tell you, it's like the world is whispering, you're on the right path. Picture this. A few years back, I was at a crossroads, questioning what my next step should be. I felt stuck, like I was waiting for a sign. One morning, I took a walk, just to clear my head, and I found myself drawn to a little bookstore I'd never noticed before. Inside, I picked up a book, randomly. I thought, and it fell open to a passage about trusting your inner voice. That moment hit me like a lightning bolt. It wasn't just chance. It felt like the universe had orchestrated it. That's synchronicity. Jung would say it's the bridge between your inner world and the outer one, a signal that your soul is tapping into what he called the collective unconscious, that vast, shared pool of human wisdom and experience we're all connected to. When your soul is rising, these moments start happening more often. Maybe you're doubting whether to take a new job, and then you overhear a stranger's conversation that mirrors your situation, offering clarity. Or you keep seeing the same number everywhere on clocks, license plates, receipts, and it feels like a nudge from something bigger. These aren't things to brush off. They're your soul's way of saying, pay attention. Jung believed synchronicities happen when your psyche is in tune with the deeper currents of life. It's like your inner compass is syncing with the universe's GPS, guiding you toward your true purpose. Now I know what you might be thinking. Are these really signs, or am I just seeing what I want to see? That's a fair question. Jung would tell you to trust your intuition. Not every coincidence is a synchronicity, but the ones that make your heart skip, that give you chills or a sense of awe, those are the ones to listen to. They're invitations to lean into your journey, to trust that you're being guided, even when the path isn't clear. When I started paying attention to these moments, my life began to shift. Decisions felt less forced, and I found a kind of flow, like I was moving with life instead of against it. So if you're noticing these meaningful coincidences, don't ignore them. Your soul is rising and the universe is speaking. Listen closely because those whispers are leading you home. Let's move to the third sign that your soul is rising. And this one's a big one. You feel this undeniable pull to look within, to do the inner work that Carl Jung said is the heart of becoming who you're meant to be. It's like a quiet voice inside you, urging you to pause, reflect, and dig deeper into your own heart and mind. Maybe you're picking up a journal for the first time in years, writing down your thoughts late at night, or you're noticing your dreams more, wondering what they're trying to tell you. Perhaps you're drawn to meditation, sitting in silence, or just asking yourself the big questions. Who am I really? What's my purpose? This craving for self-reflection isn't random. It's your soul waking up, calling you to explore the vast world within you. I remember a time in my life when everything on the outside looked fine. Busy career, full schedule, but inside I felt restless, like something was missing. One night I started writing down my thoughts, just pouring them out without judgment. What came up surprised me. Questions about what I truly wanted, fears I'd pushed down, dreams I'd forgotten. That was my soul nudging me to stop running and start listening. Jung would say this is the psyche's way of inviting you into the unconscious, that deep well of wisdom where your true self, the self as he called it, lives. It's not about chasing external success or approval. It's about turning inward to uncover who you are beneath all the noise. When your soul is rising, you might find yourself drawn to tools that help you explore this inner landscape. Maybe you're jotting down dreams that feel vivid, like messages from another part of you, or you're reading books that challenge you to think about your life's meaning. For me, it was sitting with a cup of tea, staring out a window, and letting my mind wander to the big questions. It wasn't always comfortable. Sometimes it brought up old wounds or doubts, but it felt necessary. Like my soul was saying, this is where the real work happens. Jung believed this kind of inner work is the cornerstone of individuation, the journey to wholeness where you integrate all parts of yourself, not just the shiny ones. Now, this isn't about navel-gazing or getting lost in your head. It's about courage, the courage to face yourself honestly, to ask what's true for you, not what the world expects. When you start this work, you might feel alone at first, like no one else gets it. But trust me, this is universal. Jung taught that the deeper you go into your own psyche, the more you connect to the collective unconscious, that shared human experience that binds us all. Your inner work isn't just for you. It's a gift to the world. Because a soul that's rising lifts everyone around it. So if you're feeling that pull to reflect, to question, to explore your inner world, don't resist it. Your soul is rising and it's asking you to meet it halfway. Now let's talk about the fourth sign that your soul is rising, and this one might surprise you. You're starting to let go of those ego-driven desires that used to run the show. You know what I'm talking about, chasing status, wealth, or that constant need for approval from others. Carl Jung taught us that the ego loves to keep us tethered to these external markers, convincing us they define our worth. But when your soul starts to rise, something shifts. You find yourself caring less about the corner office, the likes on social media, or what people think of your choices. Instead, you're drawn to what lights you up inside, authentic connections, creative passions, or moments that feel deeply, truly meaningful. That's your soul stepping into the driver's seat. I'll never forget a moment in my own life when I realized I was chasing things that didn't feed my heart. I had all the markers of success, fancy events, a packed schedule, people clapping for me. But there was this quiet ache inside, like I was missing something real. One day, I said no to a big opportunity that looked perfect on paper, but felt empty to my spirit. Instead, I spent that time with a dear friend, laughing over coffee, and I felt more alive than I had in months. That was my soul whispering, "This is what matters." Jung would say this is the shift from living for the ego to living for the self, that deeper, wiser part of you that knows what's true. When your soul is rising, you start to notice what's fleeting versus what's lasting. Maybe you're less interested in buying the latest gadget and more excited about creating something, a painting, a garden, a moment of kindness. Or maybe you're saying no to things that don't align with your values, even if they come with a shiny title or paycheck. For me, it was realizing that the joy of mentoring someone, or even just sitting in nature, felt richer than any spotlight. Jung called this part of individuation, the process of peeling away the ego's illusions to uncover your true purpose. It's not about rejecting success, it's about redefining it on your own terms. Now, this shift can feel unsettling at first. The world screams at us to want more, to be more, to prove ourselves. Letting go of that can feel like swimming against the tide. But here's the thing. When you start to release those ego-driven desires, you create space for what's real: love, creativity, purpose. Jung believed the ego keeps us small, chasing things that don't last, but the soul pushes us toward meaning that endures. You might find yourself craving quiet, moments of connection or time to explore. What sets your heart on fire? That's not weakness. That's wisdom. So if you're feeling this pull to let go of what the world tells you to want and to chase what feels true instead, lean into it. Your soul is rising and it's guiding you toward a life that's yours. That's the gift of letting go. You find the freedom to live for what truly matters. Let's move to the fifth sign that your soul is rising. And this one feels like a homecoming. You're starting to sense a connection to something greater than yourself. Carl Jung called this the collective unconscious, that deep, shared reservoir of human wisdom and experience that links us all. When your soul begins to rise, you feel it, this profound sense that you're part of something bigger, something vast and eternal. Maybe it's a moment of awe staring at a starry sky, or a quiet knowing when you're with someone you love, or even a feeling of unity with strangers who share your struggles. These moments aren't just fleeting emotions. They're your soul waking up to its place in the universe. I remember a time when I was walking alone by the ocean, feeling the weight of a tough season in my life. The waves were crashing, the horizon stretching out forever, and suddenly, I felt this overwhelming sense that I wasn't alone, that my joys, my pains, even my questions were part of a larger story. It was like the universe was holding me, saying, "You belong." Jung would tell you this is your soul tapping into the collective unconscious, that invisible web of archetypes and truths that connects every human heart. When your soul is rising, these moments of connection become more frequent, more vivid, like the world is reminding you that you're never truly separate. You might notice this sign in small ways at first. Maybe you're moved to tears by a song that seems to speak to your deepest self, or you feel a kinship with a stranger's story, as if their journey mirrors your own. For me, it was sitting in a circle with people from all walks of life, sharing their dreams and fears, and realizing we were all bound by the same longing for meaning. Jung believed these experiences show your soul is aligning with the universal patterns that live in the collective, unconscious stories, symbols and truths that have guided humanity for centuries. It's like your inner world is starting to resonate with the pulse of the cosmos. Now, this can feel overwhelming, even a little scary, because it asks you to let go of the idea that you're just one small, isolated person, but it's also freeing. When you feel connected to something greater, you start to trust that your life has purpose, that your struggles and triumphs matter to the whole. You might find yourself drawn to nature, to community, or to moments of stillness where you can feel this unity. Jung would say this is your soul reaching for the self, that divine spark within you that's also part of the infinite. It's not about losing yourself. It's about finding yourself in the bigger picture. So if you're feeling those moments of awe, those glimpses of connection to others, to nature, to something beyond words, don't dismiss them. Your soul is rising and it's weaving you into the tapestry of life. That's the magic of feeling connected. You realize you're part of a story that's been unfolding forever, Let's talk about the sixth sign that your soul is rising. And this one's a powerful testament to your growth. You're facing your inner conflicts with courage, seeing them not as roadblocks but as doorways to transformation. Carl Jung believed that the tension between opposing forces in your psyche, like fear versus hope, or doubt versus trust, is where real growth happens. When your soul is rising, you stop running from these inner battles. Instead, you lean into them, trusting that the discomfort, the uncertainty, even the pain, is shaping you into who you're meant to be. It's like your soul is saying, this struggle? It's not here to break you, it's here to build you. I'll never forget a time when I was wrestling with a big decision, torn between staying safe in what I knew and taking a leap into the unknown. My heart was a tug of war. Part of me wanted comfort, part of me craved change. It was messy and I wanted to avoid the tension, to just pick the easy path, but something inside urged me to sit with it, to feel the fear and the excitement without rushing to fix it. That's when I realized, facing that conflict wasn't weakness, it was strength. Jung would say this is the psyche at work, using tension to push you toward individuation, that journey to wholeness where you integrate all parts of yourself, even the ones that clash. When your soul is rising, you start to see challenges, whether it's a career shift, a relationship struggle, or an inner doubt, as opportunities to grow. Maybe you're questioning a belief you've held for years, and instead of pushing it away, you're exploring it with curiosity. Or maybe you're in a season of loss, and you're letting yourself grieve instead of pretending everything's fine. For me, it was learning to confront my fear of failure, admitting it out loud, and realizing that vulnerability was the key to moving forward. Jung taught that these moments of tension are where the magic happens, where your soul learns to balance opposites, like light and dark, to create something new. Now, this isn't easy. The world tells us to avoid pain, to fix problems fast, to keep it together, but a rising soul knows better. It knows that sitting with the discomfort, asking the hard questions, and trusting the process is how you transform. Jung called this the reconciliation of opposites, and it's the heart of becoming whole. You might feel scared or uncertain, but you're showing up anyway, and that's courage. It's like planting a seed in dark soil. You don't see the growth yet, but you trust it's coming. So if you're facing your fears, your doubts, or your life's big transitions with a willingness to grow, you're on the right path. Your soul is rising, and it's using every challenge to make you stronger, wiser, more you. That's the gift of facing conflict with courage. It's your soul's way of carving out the truest version of yourself.